What's up, Infected, and welcome to the Quarantine. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a little game that it was sent to me to review by the name of Clustered. Now, Clustered will be coming to Kickstarter soon. If you like what you see here in this video, I will have a link to the Kickstarter up in the corner there. It'll provide way more information than I could possibly cover in this video. In Clustered, the players will be taking turns laying one tile at a time, having to match two of the things, for lack of a better term, on all adjacent tiles. So whether it be the fill type of a shape, or the shape itself, or maybe the number of the shape. So you're having to use that and strategize where you're placing your tiles at versus where you're going to be placing later on down the road, and how it can be, you know, maybe a teammate can screw you out of a move and stuff like that. And I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so let's just go over to the overview. Everything you see in this video is, of course, a Kickstarter prototype, so it is, of course, subject to change. In Clustered, the players are going to take turns, one at a time, placing cards. So when you place a card, you have to make sure that you match two things on every card that is orthogonally adjacent to you. So this being the starting tile, tiles that look like this, regardless of color, are considered the wild card. So placing this, I obviously match everything on here because it's wild. However, my next placement, I can maybe place this right here because there are two triangles on this card. There are two circles, so I match the number of things on the card. These are filled with lines. These are also filled with lines. So I match both of these. You're gonna draw up your card at the end of your turn, and then you're gonna keep going. And you're gonna keep going around in circles. So now I can place this right here because they're both triangles and they're both filled with lines. And then now, for example, I can't place that there because I match that there's two here, but I don't match the fill type, and I don't really match anything else. So with my hand of 5 cards here, this being the wild, I can go and place that there, and you're going to continue doing that and placing cards in such a way that you're able to match all surrounding, or two of each surrounding card. So for example, like this. Another thing that you're able to do is, if with your hand of cards, which I know I can play this, but let's say I can't, if I'm not able to play anything, I would then on my turn discard a card and then draw a card. At the point that the last card has been played or discarded, you will then go to the final scoring. So you will determine which one is your largest rectangle. So for example, mine is right here. However, I wouldn't use this as my largest one because this uses the neutral wild card. So this is my largest rectangle. You'll get 1 point for every card in the rectangle. So this is worth 6 points. Now you will get 1 point for every card in each line that you have above 3. So what that means is this would be worth 4 points, 3 points, 5 points, and that would be it. I would tally all of that up, and that is my final score. However, things change a little bit once you implement another player. Now, the player has, throughout the course of the game, had played this, stopping me from getting 6 points. Now I only get 4 points for it. They've also stopped my 5 line, so I only get 4 points for this and 4 points for this, giving me a total score of 8. However, they also have a rectangle of 4, with 4 here. So we would, in this case, tie for this example. The game gets a little bit more intense when you add a third and potentially a fourth player into the mix. Regardless of the number of players, you will then tally up your score, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game is declared the winner. All right, Clustered. Well, I'm going to say right out of the gates, I actually really enjoy Clustered. It's a really cool, really light little puzzle game, essentially is what it is. So, really the biggest issue I have with the game is it calls itself like a family-friendly strategy game. And it's kind of family-friendly, but you're gonna be hard-pressed to like, this game can be a really big brain burner when you're looking at your hand of cards and you can just see the smoke coming out of your ears because you're sitting there grinding over it and milling over it going, where am I going to put this card? I need to get some points. And then of course it also can be super aggressive because I can go, oh, I see you're trying to build a big square over there, so let me just throw this down and screw you over. But then that leads to more strategy and how you're gonna do that and how you're gonna build everything. And the game can be a really big brain burner. So children are gonna be a little hard pressed to get into this. But with that said, it is easy enough to learn that like my 9-year-old or my 10-year-old now can play it. I've taught this to a few people. It takes like 5 minutes, just like the box says. It takes like 5 minutes to learn. It's super simple, but it's a surprisingly deep strategic game because everybody's got the same cards. You're gonna get your 2 wilds eventually. It's just a matter of when and you playing them in the opportune time and the opportune space to allow you to get more points. The only other thing that I can think of to talk about the game is the visual style. And honestly, it's not bad. It's very basic, but it allows you to glance. There's no confusion over this and this. There's no confusion. There are 3 symbols on each. They're both filled solid. So these can be placed next to each other even though they're 2 different symbols. And then this can also be played down here because or over here or wherever, because there's no question. So the art on it is very basic, but in a good way. That's in no way, shape, or form a bad thing. So that's my review for Clustered. It's a really neat little strategy game that is family friendly, but it can be a really big brain burner, especially for the children. So anyways, if you like it, again, I'll have the Kickstarter link up here. Check it out. It's a cool little game, and I'll see you guys next time in the Quarantine.